What is up, wrestling fans? JP from KayFabe Chronicles, and boy, do I got a treat for you this week. You know, every so often a guy like me gets to leave the house, go out to the comic book store with some friends, peruse, look around, maybe possibly get myself a little something, maybe even a comic book that I might decide to collect, maybe even subscribe for years down the road. But lo and behold, this was not one of those days. How did I not know that this thing existed? I thought I was pretty, up to today's dates. I thought I had my finger on the pulse of society. I thought that I kind of knew all things wrestling that were out. So how did I not know that this was even going to be made or even coming out? Oh well. Well, with everybody's favorite Roman Reigns on the cover, let's hope that this isn't one of your standard judging a book by its cover. And let's get right in. We start off with what appears to be Dean Ambrose, Roman Reigns, and Seth Rollins, shooting the shit and being all chummy while having what appears to be a barbecue outside. The topic of Rollins recently being a bit flaky in regards to the cohesiveness of the Shield is mentioned a few times. So I guess I know where this story is going. When all of a sudden, oh shit, Ambrose is going all crazy and lunatic fringe, 'cause that's what Dean does. He decides to kick the barbecue's ass and jump off the side like some sugar-induced toddler and run off to the sunset. Or at least we think. Reigns then tries to piece a few words together before he's interrupted by something way more interesting. Because that's not really that hard to do. It appears that they were barbecuing on top of the truck, and Dean has in fact jumped into the truck and has started to drive away with Rollins and Reigns still on top of it. During the escape, he narrowly misses the Wyatt family. Because, that's how WWE likes to start feuds.
What is this? Wait a minute. Good God Almighty! For God's sakes! That car just ran over Austin!
Reigns finds his way into the cab, and wacky hijinks and dialogue happen between him and Ambrose. I'm not going to lie, but the repartee between the two is way more interesting than anything Roman Reigns has said in the last 4 years. Now, immediately following this, Ambrose and Reigns decide to settle, almost killing the Wyatts in, you guessed it, the ring, because that makes up for near roadside homicide. The match resolves in nothing, but we see Rollins is nowhere to be seen. It's only after the match when we see him speeding away in his sexy black sports car, while Ambrose and Reigns try to play catch-up in their red truck, while the Wyatts look on from the parking lot. Because, foreshadowing? We now arrive at some fancy-ass yacht club where we see Rollins having a good time, fitting in with the black tie attire. Well, in his sweaty-ass ring gear. Because screw cocktail sauce, I want to dip my shrimp into that. Ambrose and everybody's favorite charismatic waste of space arrive just in time to question Rollins on why he's been flaking out lately, when all of a sudden Billy Joel, I mean the Wyatts, come crashing through the party in their reject mobile from the Mad Max storyline, but Rollins pushes them right out of the way just before they're Rikishi'd by the Wyatts. The Wyatts get out to unleash hell on Ambrose and Reigns until Rollins gets up and saves the day by chasing them off into the darkness. So all's all hunky-dory in the lives of the Shield, or so we think. After Rollins is the only one left, we see Triple H applauding and commenting to Rollins that he almost had him convinced, and it's time for them to settle negotiations. Now, the story ends with Seth Rollins turning on the Shield via steel chair, i.e. what happened in real life. And of course, it ends on a cliffhanger. Now, did this really need to be made into a comic? Did I really need to know the whole comedic backstory behind it? No, it's almost 2 years later and it still is pretty fresh in our minds, so I don't know why they had to put it onto paper. Questions we will never ever know the answer to. But is the comic done yet? Oh no, buckle up because we got some more reading to do. Now granted, it's not all that bad. The rest of the comic is actually quite unique, and I do got to give credit to where credit is due. There are numerous shorter stories that follow, and each one is, of course, a little bit different style, as well as different art. They range from a cheesy animated cartoon-style adventure featuring the New Day and the return of the famous refrigerator box time machine from their feud with the Vaudevillains earlier last year, and a very interesting old-school Steamboat Willie-style comic featuring Tugboat and one of my all-time favorite wrestlers, Earthquake. But the one comic that really sticks in my mind is a comic that features a young Sasha Banks watching her favorite wrestler, Eddie Guerrero, performing his signature frog splash, and her watching from the front row and thinking to herself, someday I'm going to do that. Now fast forward to today where she's doing the exact same move from the top rope, and cut to some other small girl in the front thinking to herself that I'm going to do The same... Goddamn ninjas cutting onions. Cut to the wide, cut to the wide. Okay. Okay. Whew. Now, all in all, was it a bad read? No. Was it a great read? No. Majority of the storyline is, of course, following the entire S.H.I.E.L.D. aspect as we were talking about. Does that really need to be made into a mainstream comic book? Some people might think so. Personally, I do think that it is fodder to possibly bring together a S.H.I.E.L.D. reunion. And why wouldn't that make any sense? The S.H.I.E.L.D. was one of the most popular stables back in the day. And right now, with where all three of them are going, it kind of makes the most sense. Rollins is kind of floating around in upper mid-card. He does have a few storylines, granted. But let's face it, he was better when he was part of a group. Dean Ambrose, same thing. A lot of fans really dive in and buy this whole lunatic fringe aspect. But in my opinion, he still is not where he should be. Yes, he's an Intercontinental Champion. Yes, he's had the United States Championship. He's always fitting in that mid thing. And sadly, in my opinion, he was really just a transitional world champion until they kind of got things figured out. So, of course, Dean makes more sense in a group. And Roman Reigns. Let's just face it. His singles push the WWE was hoping the audience would be jizzing all over isn't really working out. Yes, he's in the main title picture again, and I swear to God, if he wins the title at WrestleMania, I'm going to flip this desk. You heard it now. I will flip this desk. Now, granted, it is an interesting storyline read. I do see that they are probably going to come out with future issues. Guilty. But let's face it, is it an Eisner-winning comic? No, but it is pretty fun. It is a hell of a lot better than some of the things that were made out in the past. Oh, don't you worry about that, little gem. I'll cover you another time. Well, there you guys have it. Have you guys read the comic book or own it? Let me know what you think about it in the comments section below. Please subscribe to the station for more great videos, and as always, crush that like button. Follow us on Twitter using the 2 name tags below in the description. And this is JP from KayFabe Chronicles, and I'll see you guys next time.
We are the future burning bright. Without the hope of a brand new day, we're gonna do things 10 times better, yo. Just see how long we'll stay together, and nothing will ever get in our way.